How's it going, everyone? Reckless Yuki here, and welcome to my video on how to not suck at Call of Duty or any sort of Twitch-based reaction game that puts you against other players to determine your skill. And if you always find yourself at the bottom of the leaderboards, or if you can't break a 1-0 kill death ratio, then this video is definitely for you, because there's probably some things that I'm going to be talking about that is plaguing you and affecting your ability to play these games well. So what you're looking at the screen now is you're looking at me running around with a sniper rifle, which I wasn't really doing too well with because I'm not a sniper and I don't claim to be, but I like messing with it every once in a while. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I want to get to the leaderboard here, where I'll show you guys how I went 20 and 14, and that wasn't impressive. But what I want to direct your attention to is down to Mr. Psycho Hobbit, who went 7 and 10, and that is not a very impressive score. But he was very ecstatic about it because he went 7 and 10, and he wasn't the very last person on the leaderboards. That was a victory to him. And, you know, to me, that sounded like something I would say about 2 years ago, before I knew the things I know now. So I tried to talk to him and give him some counsel, but obviously with my 20 to 14, I guess he didn't really take my counsel well, or he didn't really believe what I was trying to tell him. So the reason why he did so horrible was he was playing on a 46-inch TV, and that was the main thing that I feel that was kind of screwing him over. So if we jump to the next game, I stayed in the same lobby, and this time I decided to run around with a shotgun just to really try to prove my point, to ensure that I got a high kill, low death, just to really dominate on these guys and just to be the dominant player in this lobby, to express my opinions as far as televisions and gaming monitors. And so that's what I like to get into as far as the first bit of this video, and then maybe go over some extra peripherals if I have enough time. So the main thing, right, why people just suck at this game is because they probably play on a large television set. They probably just got the PlayStation 4, they just got the Xbox One, and they put it in their living rooms so that they could play games and also enjoy movies on their high-quality television. Now, that high-quality television is perfectly fine for enjoying movies or doing some really light casual gaming, but anything like Call of Duty, where your reaction time is really key on you doing well, it will just absolutely murder you. And so anyone who plays on a large TV is just going to be bent over, and basically I'm going to have my way with them because I play on a gaming monitor. And the reason why I have an advantage on my gaming monitor than them on their large TVs is because the processing time I have for an image to be displayed on my gaming monitor is so low compared to that of a TV. Now, TVs, like, a lot of people might have a really fancy TV where it will have it will claim to have 120 hertz or 240 hertz processing. That is actually physically impossible for it to have a true 120 hertz or a true 240 hertz, because the HDMI cable that connects the console to the TV is limited to 60 hertz. So you're probably wondering, how does it get the extra 62, however many, extra 62, extra 120 hertz? Well, what it does is it takes the input from the console, it takes like frame A, B, C, and whatever, and then it looks at the frames, and then it processes the image to make up frames in between to give it the illusion that it's a smoother picture, which it is a smoother picture, but all that processing takes time. So with my 40-inch Samsung that I used to play on that has a 120 hertz processing, or 120 hertz frequency, that TV was like dragging me down to 9 frames behind what my console was actually doing. So at 60 frames per second gaming, it was 9 frames behind, and each frame is about 16.67 milliseconds. And you have to think that the average person is able to react to something within about 10 milliseconds, 10 to 20 milliseconds. So one frame of delay behind someone else is giving them an advantage, a first reaction advantage, for them to be able to see you and start bringing their sights onto you and shooting before you even see them. So you don't want to have any sort of a delay. You want to have the absolute lowest latency device possible to game on, because that will in turn make you on equal par with anyone else who's using a monitor, and also it will give you a huge advantage against anyone who is using a large TV, because you'll be able to see them, react to them, shoot them before they even notice you're there, and that is just phenomenal. That's why a lot of people are able to jump into pub matches and just dominate on people, because a lot of people just don't know about the peripherals that you game with could greatly affect how well you do. And also, if you kind of look into, I guess just to kind of basically talk a little bit about TVs and what you should probably get if you have a large TV and if you can afford it, is definitely get a gaming monitor. But if you can't have a gaming monitor, if you have a, let's say a 32-inch TV somewhere, definitely use that 32-inch TV, because the 32-inch TV will be a huge improvement compared to a 40-inch TV, a 40-inch and up. I did some tests on my channel. You could probably find the videos somewhere within my lag test playlist, where I tested a various different TVs and stuff just to kind of get an idea of what's out there. A 40-inch and above will kind of give you a 9-frame delay if it's a really fancy TV like a Sony Bravia or a Samsung Smart TV. But if it's like a cheaper TV, you can expect about 6 to 5 frames of delay, especially if there's no processing done with the image. If it just gives you a raw image, that large of a TV will still be delayed, compared to a 32-inch TV will only have about 4 frames of delay. And then if you go down to a legit gaming monitor, you could get down to 3 frames of a delay. And that's what I'm talking about. Delay is like when you pull the trigger, how many frames it takes for you to see the image change on the TV. So that has to go through the console to be processed through the console and then get sent out. And so that is what you really want, is a gaming monitor. And when you search for a monitor, just don't pick any monitor. You want to do some research as far as what would be good out there. Now, there's 2 different things that you need to consider. There is going to be the well-advertised response time, which takes a pixel and measures how long it takes for that picture to change, or pixel to change color from, let's say, gray to gray, is what a lot of these monitor manufacturers like to do, because they like to fudge the numbers. They actually do like this slight shade of gray to this slight shade of gray, and then that's where you get numbers like 1 millisecond response time. Most of them do 2 millisecond response time. But what response time does is, like, you see an image moving across the screen, and then sometimes on some TVs you might see like a little bit of a motion blur, and then others you won't see any sort of motion blur. That's what response time fixes. So if it's a low response time, it's not going to have that ghosting effect. Now, response time is different from latency. Latency is how long it takes for a monitor to receive an image and to display the whole image on the screen. So you can't really confuse those two. And latency is something that is just not advertised by companies. Like, they don't advertise latency. So if you want to find latency on a monitor, I'll bring you guys to a link in the description below. It's called, I think it's called cfccentral.uk.co. I haven't been to a while, but you could find awesome monitor reviews on that site and kind of see what the monitor is good for, not only for gaming but for other things, like if you want to do graphics work. And you can't really assume that a monitor that's good for graphics work will be good for gaming. There's 2 different type of monitors. There's going to be IPS monitors, which are really great for graphics works because they look really pretty and they're there to present you with a full color spectrum and make sure that when you're editing something, it's going to actually look that way. Whereas a TN panel is just there to give you a raw image. So it's just there to give you the lowest amount of processing possible. And that's really ideal for gaming. So when you're looking for a game monitor, look for a TN panel, and also go to link this below just to look at what would be a good monitor to have. And they have like a chart where they'll show you like different categories as far as like, this is ideal for gaming, okay for gaming, and then definitely don't game on this, is what that site will be able to show you. And also some other things to be consider is use things like a headset so you can get a surround sound, so you can really kind of hear people around you and be more aware of your environment. And also things maybe like control freaks. If you aren't able to play on a higher sensitivity on your controller, definitely look at control freaks, because they raise the thumbsticks, which allow you to have greater accuracy and control, especially when you're trying to achieve a higher sensitivity that allows you to turn on people faster. And some other things that might consider is that's basically it. And also your internet. Make sure your internet connection isn't complete garbage. If you see that you're just jumping around the screen constantly, make sure that your router settings are correct, where it's not going to be taken away from what you're able to do, because that was something else that I had to fix. It's my router settings. My router settings weren't allowing my console to connect to the servers. So something else to keep in mind. But that's it for the gameplay, guys. I went 33-6. So the 6 deaths wasn't, good, but I definitely showed you guys a lot of them was due to lag. And the 33 kills was something pretty awesome, especially since the guy below me went 23-11. Then you just see the whole leaderboards there, and Psycho Hobbit down there with 0-13. So his 46-inch television set compared to my 24-inch gaming monitor. So that's the best thing I could tell you guys as far as how to improve your gaming, is get a gaming monitor if you can. And if you don't, see if you can have a 32-inch TV laying around. If you can't have that, you're just stuck with your big TV right now. Go through the settings of that TV. If it's a fancy TV, it's going to have something called game mode. Turn that on, and also go through the settings and see if there's anything like dynamic controls or anything that you can turn off. Make sure you turn off anything that you think would help improve the picture. Definitely turn that off, because then it will allow you to just get a raw image up. Now that won't be as good as a monitor, but it will definitely improve from where you're at currently. All right. So I hope this video and this information helped you guys, and definitely let me know in the comments if you tried this out and if it definitely improved. And if you saw no difference, then it's possibly not your TV. But if you were already playing on a small TV or gaming monitor, then this isn't going to improve anything with you. This is just for anyone who's playing on a larger TV, okay? So hope you guys found it interesting. Definitely, if you have a friend out there that's struggling, let them know. And I'll talk to you guys again next time, all right? Bye-bye.